10 foods that help improve memory naturally. You have probably been told that forgetting names, misplacing your glasses, or walking into a room and blanking on why you came in is simply what happens once you pass a certain age. Here is the truth. That belief is not entirely accurate, and by the end of this video, you may look at your own daily meals in a completely different way. Before we go any further, a quick note. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace advice from a qualified healthcare professional. If you have concerns about your memory or cognitive health, it may be helpful to speak with a doctor. Stay with us because number 6 on this list is a food most people already have in their kitchen right now, and researchers have specifically studied it for the way it may support the very chemical messengers your brain uses to hold onto memories. Once you hear why, you may never look at it the same way again, but let's start from the beginning. The human brain is a remarkably hungry organ. Despite making up only about 2% of total body weight, it consumes roughly 20% of the body's daily energy. That means what you eat does not just fuel your muscles or your mood. It directly fuels the billions of neurons responsible for remembering a phone number, recalling a loved one's birthday, or learning a new skill later in life. Nutrition scientists have spent decades studying which foods appear to support this process, and a pattern has started to emerge. Certain nutrients, antioxidants, and healthy fats seem to show up again and again in the research tied to cognitive health and memory support. So let's walk through 10 of them one at a time and talk about why each one may deserve a place on your plate. Number 1, fatty fish. Fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, and mackerel are often the first food that comes up in conversations about brain health, and for good reason. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, a type of healthy fat that the brain relies on heavily for building and maintaining its cells. In fact, a large portion of the brain's structure is made up of fat, and omega-3 fats in particular are thought to play a role in supporting the health of neurons, the specialized cells that transmit information throughout the nervous system. Some studies have suggested that people who regularly eat fatty fish may show slower rates of age-related cognitive decline compared to those who rarely eat it, although researchers are careful to point out that diet is only one piece of a much larger puzzle that includes genetics, sleep, and overall lifestyle. Consider Robert, a 71-year-old retired mechanic who started noticing that he would walk into a room and forget why he had gone there. His daughter, a dietitian, gently suggested he add more fish to his weekly meals. Robert began having salmon twice a week instead of red meat. He cannot say for certain that the fish alone changed anything, and no single food should be viewed as a guaranteed fix. But he has said that pairing the dietary change with better sleep habits has left him feeling more mentally present during conversations with his grandchildren. Number 2, blueberries. Blueberries are small, but the research interest around them has been anything but. These berries are packed with compounds called flavonoids, which are natural plant pigments that also act as antioxidants in the body. Antioxidants help neutralize unstable molecules known as free radicals, which can contribute to what scientists call oxidative stress, a process that may be associated with aging and inflammation in brain tissue over time. Some research has explored whether the flavonoids in blueberries may help improve communication between brain cells, potentially supporting memory and delaying certain age-related cognitive changes. While blueberries should never be viewed as a cure, many nutritionists consider them one of the easiest and most enjoyable ways to add brain-supportive antioxidants into a daily routine. Number 3, leafy green vegetables. Spinach, kale, and collard greens often get overlooked in conversations about brain food, overshadowed by flashier options like berries or fish. But leafy greens are quietly loaded with nutrients that may matter a great deal for cognitive health, including vitamin K, folate, beta-carotene, and lutein. Some long-term studies have followed older adults over several years and found that those who consumed more leafy greens on a regular basis appeared to experience a slower rate of cognitive decline compared to those who consumed very few. Researchers believe this may be tied to the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties found throughout these vegetables, although more research is still needed to fully understand the exact mechanisms at play. Number 4, walnuts. Walnuts have an appearance that has long amused people, with their wrinkled, folded shape bearing an uncanny resemblance to the human brain itself. Interestingly, the nutritional story behind walnuts may live up to that visual coincidence in its own way. Walnuts are one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, alongside a healthy dose of antioxidants and polyphenols, which are natural compounds that may help protect brain cells from stress and inflammation. Some research has associated regular walnut consumption with improved performance on certain cognitive tests, particularly those involving memory and information processing speed. A small handful a few times a week is often the amount referenced in nutritional guidance, though individual needs can vary, and it may be worth discussing portion sizes with a healthcare provider, especially for anyone managing calorie intake or nut allergies. Number 5 is turmeric. Turmeric is a golden-colored spice that has been used for centuries in South Asian cooking and traditional medicine practices. Its main active compound, curcumin, has drawn significant scientific attention because it appears to cross the blood-brain barrier, meaning it may be able to directly reach brain tissue rather than simply circulating elsewhere in the body. Some early research has explored whether curcumin may help reduce inflammation and oxidative damage in the brain, both of which have been associated with cognitive decline in aging populations. It is worth noting that much of this research is still in relatively early stages, and turmeric on its own, especially in small culinary amounts, may not deliver the same concentrated effects seen in clinical studies using purified curcumin supplements. Anyone considering supplementation should speak with a healthcare professional first, particularly if they are taking other medications. Number 6, eggs. Eggs are often praised for their protein content, but their real story for brain health may lie in a lesser-known nutrient called choline. Choline is used by the body to produce a substance called acetylcholine, which acts as a chemical messenger between brain cells and plays an important role in regulating memory and mood. Egg yolks in particular are considered one of the most concentrated dietary sources of choline available. Some studies have suggested that individuals with higher choline intake may perform better on certain memory-related tasks, though researchers emphasize that a wide range of factors influence these outcomes, including overall diet quality and general health status. Take the story of Linda, a 68-year-old former schoolteacher who began noticing she was misplacing her keys and forgetting the names of former students more frequently than before. During a routine appointment, her doctor reviewed her diet and noted that she had unintentionally cut back on eggs years earlier due to outdated cholesterol concerns. After a broader conversation about current nutritional guidance, Linda gradually reintroduced eggs into her breakfast routine as part of a more balanced diet. She describes feeling more mentally clear in the mornings since making that change, though she is careful to say she also improved her sleep schedule and started walking daily around the same time, so she cannot attribute the improvement to any single factor. Number 7, dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, particularly varieties with a high cocoa content, contains flavonoids similar to those found in blueberries, along with natural stimulants like caffeine that may temporarily support focus and alertness. Some research has suggested that the flavonoids in cocoa may help improve blood flow to the brain, potentially supporting areas involved in memory and learning. It is important to note that these potential benefits are typically associated with dark chocolate that contains a high percentage of cocoa, generally 70% or higher, rather than milk chocolate varieties that tend to be higher in added sugar and lower in beneficial compounds. As with any treat, moderation matters, and dark chocolate should be viewed as a complement to a balanced diet rather than a primary strategy for supporting memory. Number 8 is broccoli. Broccoli is rich in antioxidants and contains a notably high concentration of vitamin K, a nutrient that has been studied for its possible role in supporting cognitive function, particularly memory. It also contains compounds called glucosinolates, which break down into substances that some researchers believe may have protective effects on brain tissue by reducing oxidative stress. Broccoli is additionally a good source of vitamin C, another antioxidant nutrient associated in some studies with mental sharpness in older adults. While no single vegetable can be credited with dramatic cognitive improvements on its own, broccoli is frequently mentioned by nutrition researchers as part of a broader dietary pattern, often referred to as the Mediterranean-style diet, that has been associated with better long-term brain health outcomes. Number 9 are pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are a smaller, less talked about addition to this list, but they carry an impressive nutritional profile relevant to brain function. They are a good source of magnesium, iron, zinc, and copper, each of which plays a distinct role in supporting healthy nervous system function. Zinc, for example, is involved in nerve signaling, and some research has linked zinc deficiency to difficulties with memory and cognitive performance. Magnesium has been studied for its potential role in supporting learning and memory processes, with some researchers exploring its relationship to synaptic plasticity, which refers to the brain's ability to adapt and form new neural connections over time. A small serving of pumpkin seeds sprinkled over a salad or eaten on their own as a snack is often suggested as an easy way to work these nutrients into a daily routine. Number 10, oranges. Oranges, along with other citrus fruits, are one of the richest everyday sources of vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant that the brain appears to need in relatively high concentrations to function optimally. Vitamin C is thought to help protect brain cells against damage from free radicals, and some studies have associated higher vitamin C intake with a reduced risk of age-related cognitive decline, although researchers caution that correlation does not always mean direct cause. One medium orange can provide a significant portion of the recommended daily vitamin C intake for most adults, making it one of the simplest additions to a brain-supportive diet. There is one more thing worth mentioning before we close, something that ties every single item on this list together. None of these 10 foods work in isolation, and none of them should be viewed as a guaranteed solution for memory concerns. What the research consistently points toward instead is the power of an overall dietary pattern, one built around whole foods, healthy fats, antioxidants, and consistency over time, rather than any single miracle ingredient. Alongside nutrition, factors like quality sleep, regular physical activity, mental stimulation, and social connection all appear to play meaningful roles in supporting cognitive health as we age. So let's bring it back to where we started. The human brain uses roughly 20% of the body's daily energy despite its relatively small size, a statistic that says a great deal about just how much what we eat matters for how our minds function. Small, consistent choices, a handful of walnuts here, a serving of leafy greens there, a piece of fatty fish once or twice a week, may add up to something meaningful over months and years, even if no single food can promise a guaranteed outcome on its own. If you found this video helpful, we would genuinely love to hear from you. Which of these 10 foods are already part of your regular diet, and which one are you thinking about adding this week? Let us know in the comments below. And if this video gave you something useful to think about, sharing it with a friend or family member who might benefit, and subscribing for more videos like this one would mean a great deal to us. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.